Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to the newest edition of the Take One podcast, which is the 61st edition of this podcast. And thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. I am August C. Jones, and we got a few things on the docket to talk about. And one of the first things that I'm going to talk about today is the new Avengers Infinity War posters. Now, we have been given a lot of stuff throughout the weeks leading up to this month's Avengers Infinity War. The release date, of course, as you guys know, has been pushed up a week. So it's coming out this month instead of the first week of next month, which would have been May 4th. But hey, I mean, the earlier we can see it, the better. And so other than that, I got a couple other things to talk about, which is what will dominate this month. Since we are in this month already, and I'm going to give you my predictions on the 5 movies I think are going to be the top earners by the end of April. And then we're going to get into the box office the box office segment, where, you know, I do my usual and I talk about the box office that was this past weekend. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, where I'm talking about the Avengers Infinity War new character posters. Now, we've been getting a lot of posters lately of Avengers Infinity War. A lot of them have been good. I've been checking my Instagram. For some reason, I've been on Instagram a lot more lately. I guess it's because a lot of times I like to upload pictures of my ticket stubs every time I go to the show and stuff like that. So you know how it is. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Infinity War stuff, whether it's just like behind the scenes photos or just little new photos that they're giving of the movie, or new posters that they've been given, and like just the regular posters for the promotional posters for the marketing and all that stuff have been looking good. Like, these are posters that I literally would put on my wall. But the latest posters that they have been coming out with are just regular posters. They have like a lot. Actually, there's been a lot of them. They've been having like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. They've been what's her name from off of Black Panther? God, the name eludes me, but they got Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, Star-Lord, Winter Soldier, and stuff like that. But just they're like neon type colors, and they got the A symbol in the back, but then they got the character up front and forward or whatever, and they're doing different poses, and these posters look pretty awesome. Like, these are posters literally that I will put on my wall all around just for the hell of it, because these look badass and awesome. Of course, they got Black Panther one. He's just got he's basically kind of look like he's like kneeling down and got his right arm on his knee and stuff, and he's looking away like he's looking at something. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, whatever. And then you got Hulk in one, who's taking a majority of the picture, because he's a big ass green monster and stuff. But you got War Machine on one, you got Gamora doing one, you got Black Widow doing one with the blonde hair this time up in this movie for some strange reason, I don't know. But she did red, like a real dark red up in Iron Man 2. So you gotta switch it up. I ain't gonna trip on that, because Scarlett Johansson looks good and stuff. So rock whatever hair color you want to wear. You got Scarlet Witch doing it, Vision, and then you got Black Panther's little sister. God, I don't know why these names are eluding me. I wish they had the names on there or whatever. I don't know why. Like I said, you got Spider-Man on there and stuff. And, these character posters are looking like really good. Like, I'm really enjoying all this stuff that they've been putting out. The one with Cap is looking awesome. Star-Lord blasting his gun. You got Winter Soldier showing off his vibranium. Actually, matter of fact, let me get on the Winter Soldier one, because you see his vibranium. Like, I don't know if it's just completely different, if they made it completely brand new, but if you remember back in Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War, that his arm was just regular metal. You know, it's regular vibranium metal, and it just looked like a regular metallic arm or whatever. And you know, it was really nothing to it. I mean, it had the symbol on there. I think it's like the American symbol or something like that. It was just an ordinary metal arm, you know. And but looking close, I don't know if it's just the lighting in this picture, the neon or whatever, but looking at it, it looks like it has different. It looks like it's different. It looks like it's like blue, but it could be just because of the lighting in the picture is like kind of bluish, purplish and stuff, and so it could be just reflecting off of that just because of, you know, just the colors, the neon colors or whatever in the poster that's looking like that. But that looks crazy. Like, I wonder if it's to the point where his arm can change colors, you know, if it can be like, you know, looking like regular metal, you know, how it looks already, or can it change to blue, red and stuff like that. I mean, when you think about it, it really doesn't matter or make sense of why it would do that. But I mean, I guess it would be pretty cool. Like, you know, you walk up to somebody and be like, yeah, I like your arm, dude. Look, it can change yellow. Look, red. Look, black. You know, I don't know. It's just, I guess it would be something just cool to show off. But I guess after a while, people would be like, yeah, it changed colors, but what else can it do? You know, but I mean, just all these character posters that are out of Infinity War looks crazy. Totally crazy. I like them. They don't have too much going on. It's just character posters, just showing one character in each poster, but it looks crazy. I mean, even like some of the posters that came out not too long ago, with basically it had more characters on there. Of course, you got the big Avengers symbol in the middle of it, but then you got one that has like Robert Downey Jr. as a Iron Man. Basically, he's wearing an Iron Man suit, but you know, but he's without the mask or whatever, and he's looking off. And then you got Doctor Strange in there, you got Wong, and then you got Spider-Man in his new suit up in there. And it's basically a red themed poster. Then you got Scarlet Witch in a green themed poster, and she's the big head up in the picture. And you got Black Panther. Then you got his bodyguard. The name is gonna pop up. The name is gonna pop out either while I'm still doing this podcast or after. And I'm like, damn, I knew it was like, I don't know. But in any case, so then he also got the green. They got the Hulk up in there. It's green. So I mean, what would you expect? You know. Then you got one with Captain America. He's the big head in this one. It's blue themed. And then you got Winter Soldier, of course, because that's his best friend. Then you got Black Panther's little sister. Then you got Nebula. And then you got what's the? Oh, these names are eluding me. The empath girl from off of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Mantis? Or something like that. I knew it was something like that. Mantis. Something Mantis. I don't know. Whatever. But then you got Thor. He's the big head in this picture. And there's a purple thing. And you got Star-Lord, Gamora. And you got Drax, Rocket. And then you got Team Group. And then you got a yellow one with Scarlet Witch being the big head up in there. Then you got Vision, of course, because that's her boo. That's her hubby. And then you up in the picture, you got Falcon and War Machine. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's all the posters. But even these posters look great. I mean, these are posters that I will put up in my room on the wall and stuff like that. Like, these are awesome. Like, these would be awesome screensavers. You know, you can have it like, you know, it go from one and then it switch to the other one, then switch to the other one. Like, that will be pretty awesome. But yeah, man, what they've been doing with all this marketing and, you know, the promotional posters and everything that they've been doing for it, I've been liking. You know, I don't know if I can get more excited for this movie. I think if I got more excited for this movie would be pregnant by the end of this month. That's how excited I will be. But yeah, man, it's crazy. I'm really dying to see this movie, and this is just icing on the cake. This is extra icing. You know, I don't need really too much more. And it's crazy. I was talking to my nephew the other day about it, how we know so much about the movie. Like, we literally know what this movie is about, but yet we don't know what this movie is about. Like, we don't know anything about this movie. We have certain predictions and stuff that we think is going to happen with this movie, but we don't know what's going to happen, and that kills us because we don't know who's going to die. We have our speculations, and more than likely we're right. You know, Cap, Iron Man, you know, whoever. But guaranteed they're going to have some, like, stuff in their back pockets that, like, we're not gonna see coming, you know. And this movie is just crazy. But let me stop it right there before I make this whole podcast about it, because I got other stuff to touch on. But yeah, I mean, as far as the posters, like, I mean, I can't get any more excited, like I said, for this movie, because this movie is freaking awesome. And I'm there opening night that Thursday to go see this movie as many times as I can. And so moving on to the next thing, which is the topic of this podcast, this episode of the podcast, is what will dominate April. Now, we have not too many films coming out this month. It's a lot of films that a lot of people, I don't think people are going to be seeing and stuff. So I kind of like not said, I'm in this list that I put down, I kind of like, you know, excluded some like a couple, like 2 to 3 films or whatever, but I don't think that they're going to, you know, make a big difference. But, you know, and these are the movies that I put in this list to show you what I'm talking about. So for this month, April, starting this week, is going to be A Quiet Place, which is about the family that, you know, needs to be quiet or else they're going to be hunted, which is the tagline. If they hear you, they hunt you. Then you got Blockers, and that's just the John Cena movie where he's playing a parent along with 2 other parents that have to stop this sex pact of their daughters for their prom night. So Blockers, yeah. Then you got Chappaquiddick. Yeah, okay, I said it right. I don't know why I keep messing up the word Chappaquiddick, which is basically about one of the members of the Kennedy family who was wrapped up in like this murder, and so it's like it's like a murder mystery, I guess you say, a thriller, whatever. And then you got Miracle Season, which is about a volleyball team that lose their star player, their captain, and so they're in the midst of that, they're trying to use that as inspiration to win the state championship, you know, in memory of her. And then you have Rampage, which is the newest movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which is probably one of 17,000 movies that he's going to star in this month. But it's about, you know, it's a comic, well, not comic, but it's a video game movie. This is, even though it goes out my mind, like, this is a video game based movie, so you can count it in the same rip as like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Tomb Raider, all the Tomb Raider movies and stuff like that, Assassin's Creed. You can count it amongst all that because this is a video game adapted movie. So yeah, it's adapted from the video game Rampage. You know, you got the giant gorilla, the giant wolf, the giant crocodile and stuff like that. And that should be fun. And then you have Truth or Dare, which is basically which is a horror film about a killer game of Truth or Dare. Once you start playing it, it doesn't end until everyone is dead. So, I don't know, it looked like that could be good. I'm a horror guy, so, you know, I'm going to go see it. Then you have a movie called Sergeant Stubby, An American Hero. I haven't seen anything about this movie. I don't know what the hell it's about. I know this is about a dog, more than likely he's in the military, or is a military dog, or trying to be a military dog, and he becomes a hero. I mean, hence the title, An American Hero, I guess. I don't know. It's an animated film. More than likely, I'm going to take my son to go see it. Then you got I Feel Pretty, which is the newest Amy Schumer movie. And it's just, you know, it's about her, just, I guess you say, women feeling pretty no matter what size you are. That she's a bigger woman. She wants to get to the ideal size, but then something happens where she ends up getting knocked to where she sees herself as just beautiful the way she is. So, I mean, it has a good, you know, premise. So, I mean, you know, I may check it. I don't know. And then you got Super Troopers 2. I haven't seen the first one. Wasn't interested in seeing the first one. I'm interested in seeing the second one. So I mean, I guess it's just for like people who like these type of movies. Then you got the movie Traffic. I seen the trailer. I wasn't really paying too much attention, but I believe it got Omar Epps and like a few other people. It looks like it's decent. I'm gonna check out the trailer again. I don't know. This is a movie I might end up checking out. And then last but not least, you have Avengers: Infinity War. So with those movies, these are the top 5 highest grossing movies I think is gonna come out of April. And starting at number 5, I think it's Chappaquiddick. I think that's going to do some numbers. A lot of times, like, I'll be dead wrong with movies. Like, just getting into just one of the things I'm going to talk about in like the next segment is going to be, you know, the box office. But even though I haven't did the podcast in a few weeks, one of the movies that I did not expect to be in the top 5 was I Can Only Imagine. I did not think that was going to make the top 5. You know, I didn't care for it. I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, whatever. But it's in the top 5. And it has a good percentage on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm like, that kind of piqued my interest. You know, it doesn't really look like a movie that I would want to see, or I'm still really kind of not interested in seeing. But I'm curious to see, you know, it's in the top 5 and it got a high score on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm like, in the midst of all the movies that came out these past couple months, it made it into the top 5. So they got me kind of curious to see what the buzz is about. I may end up liking it if I go see it, but I don't know. But yeah, I think Chappaquiddick is going to be at number 5 though. Because like what I was saying with the whole I Can Only Imagine, I had went away from my point. But just movies that I did not think or I would not expect to be in the top 5 ends up being in the top 5 or ends up making a lot of money. Hence Jumanji. I didn't think that was going to make it as much money as it was, and I think they're still in theaters, even though despite it being in on video. So you literally, I think they're trying to make $1 billion. I don't know, but yeah, I think Chappaquiddick is gonna crack the top 5 highest grossers of April 2018. The next one is going to be Truth or Dare. I think Truth or Dare is going to be up in there. It's a movie that one of my friends, she is like dying to see. Every time I talk to her, it's like, Truth or Dare come out next week. Truth or Dare. And it's like, okay. Even though I have my doubts about this movie, I don't know if this movie is going to be good. I really don't. The reviews should be coming out early next week, so maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I can hear like from like the reviewers that I listen to, and they probably could be like, yo, this is like one of the best movies and blah blah blah, or it's really good, like it's better than what I expected, blah blah blah. And then, you know, I probably might have a little bit more of a higher hope for it, but I think that it may do good as far as the box office concerned. So I think it's going to come in at number 4. Rampage, I know that's going to do numbers. You got Dwayne The Rock Johnson up in there, and you got big monsters or big animals, kind of monster type, because they kind of mutate. I don't know. I guess you could say big monster flick. Okay, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, a big monster flick. What's not to like? I mean, you got a star that, you know, is charismatic, that is a superstar. I mean, a superstar. And, you know, you put them in a movie like this with monsters, and it's just a popcorn flick. How could it not make money? I mean, hell, shit, I like Pacific Rim Uprising. Shit, I may even like this. Hell. So yeah, I think it's going to be one of the top earners of April. Then we have A Quiet Place. From what I hear so far, this movie is around 100%. Last time I looked on Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 98%, even though the commercials are still saying it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and da da da. It's just like, okay, it was up there, but now it's not. But still, it's not that far from 100%. So that got me kind of like, maybe this movie is really good, because this is one of the movies that I was really anticipating this year. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see this movie. So I think that this movie is going to be one of the biggest top earners. But of course, you all know what I think what the top earner is going to be of April. There's no question about it. It's going to be Sergeant Stubby. I think that's going to crush all expectations. I think that's going to be like a $2 billion, maybe $3 billion movie. All the kids in America are going to run to this, get their parents to come out their money. They're going to be like, we're going to go see this about 15 times. Each household is going to go see it about 20 times or whatever. This movie is going to make crazy amounts of money. I don't know if anything else can beat it. They have this movie called Avengers Infinity War. I don't know if it's going to come close. It may crack. Avengers Infinity War may crack. I say open weekend. Maybe about 20 mil. I don't know. At the end of its run, I think it has a good chance of maybe even getting like maybe 100 mil worldwide. I don't know. But I mean, Avengers Infinity War, it has some stiff competition. Like, I don't know. It didn't make it on the list. I say it's an honorable mention. So, just to go over it, I'm going to stop bullshitting. Number 5 is going to be Chappaquiddick. Number 4, Truth or Dare. Number 3, Rampage. Number 2, A Quiet Place. And number 1, Avengers Infinity War. That's the Avengers Infinity War is going to, like, just clean house. Anything that's before or after it is not going to survive. This is going to be the icing on the cake. This is what's going to be the beginning and end all. This is going to be the alpha and omega. And so, moving on to the next and last final subject of this podcast, which is going to be the box office segment. And so, since I already talked about some of the movies that's going to be dropping this Friday, I don't really gotta say too much about it. So let's get into it. So this past weekend saw Ready Player One take the number 1 spot at 41 million, which brings its domestic total to 64 million, and is worldwide. It's worldwide at 191 million. This movie, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm going to put up my review of it, but check it out. If you haven't seen it yet, if you want a film to take your kids to go see, this is a movie to go check out. It's really good. It was better than what I expected. As of now, and I'm not going to give it away, but this is one of out of the first quarter of like this year, because I'm gonna do a separate podcast on like just a review of the first quarter of movies this year. But yeah, this movie and Black Panther really take the cake. Yeah, this Ready Player One and Black Panther are the 2 movies where I came out of it and I'm just like, these are fucking good ass movies. These are good movies. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Coming in at number 2 is Tyler Perry's, Why I Keep Acrimony. Man, I've been saying that all week. Right. Anytime I talk to somebody, acrimony. And I'm saying it now, and I'm looking at the word, and I'm just like blanking. But this week it brought in 20 mil. And it's basically bringing its domestic to 20 mil. It hasn't hit worldwide yet. I don't know if it's going to hit worldwide. I didn't see anything about that. But right now it's at 20 mil opening weekend. And you got Black Panther at the number 3 spot, which it don't matter. Black Panther done already raked it up. Rake it up. You know, it already did that. And this week it brought in 11 mil. Which right now is just like, it's just collecting change now. Like, yeah, go ahead. If you want to keep giving me that, come on, keep giving me that. Which brings its domestic total to 654 million. And that's crazy because right now it's the highest. Now, count it. The highest grossing superhero movie of all time. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the highest grossing movie of all time. I have to double check the facts. I may come back and let you guys know, but as far as 100% is the highest grossing superhero movie, putting it just above Avengers, the first Avengers. And that's crazy. So bravo, bravo for Black Panther, bravo for Wakanda forever. I'm happy to see that a black movie, a black superhero movie, the first one that is like really, well, I ain't gonna say that's the first one that's really black centric, because no matter how you look at it, I mean, you will look at, like, I just look at Meteor Man. I mean, you can't put it on the same, thing as like Black Panther, but it is black centric, black neighborhood and all that stuff. But yeah, so it did its thing, which brings its worldwide total to $1.2 billion. Damn. Whew. And then you get number 4 with the movie that I was talking about a little bit earlier, I Can Only Imagine. With only a budget of $7 million, brought in $10 million this week and brings its domestic total, its overall total, to $58 million. So it made its money back and then some. And you see why I'm kind of interested or kind of curious in seeing this movie. This movie is doing that much, $7 million, and it brought in $58 million. It's got to be doing something right, It don't seem like a movie that I'd be interested in, but end up going to go see it and it'd be like crazy. Then you got rounding up the top 5 movies over this weekend. The high grossers is Pacific Rim Uprising. And this week it brought in $9 million, domestic total $48 million, and its worldwide is $233 million. And that's without a budget at $150 million, which is not too bad. But $150 million, that's the budget. But then you gotta also include on top of that. That's not including marketing and stuff. So it has a little bit to go before you can say it's a financial success. But it can get there, because I saw the movie. It wasn't as good as the first one, I can say that, but it was really enjoyable. Like, I liked it. I really did. So it deserved to be up in there, and it deserved to make the money. It deserved to make more money than it did. I'm not saying it's one of the best films of this year, but it was one of the most enjoyable movies I've seen thus far this year. So just to go over it, number 1, we got at number 1, taking the number 1 spot was Ready Player One. Then number 2 is Tyler Perry's Acrimony. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 4, I Can Only Imagine. And rounding up the top 5 is Pacific Rim Uprising. And that's crazy, real crazy. And then we're going to get to coming this week, which we have 4 movies coming out this week. I'm going to try to go see all of them. I'm going to try to see all of them, because all of them seem pretty interesting. Even like the one that probably a lot of people didn't know about, that I haven't even seen a trailer for, which is The Miracle Season. But I'm going to just start off with that. The Miracle Season come out this week, as well as hold on, gosh darn it. Okay, as well as A Quiet Place, the horror film with the, they got to keep quiet, And then you got Blockers. Then you got Chappaquiddick. Okay. That was going to be a little bit tricky. That and Acrimony, I think I'm going to have to study those 2 words and just, kind of like, that way I'm not sitting here thinking about it like, okay, how you pronounce it. But yeah, so this week you get A Quiet Place, Blockers, Chappaquiddick, and then you have The Miracle Season. And so with that, I'm going to give you my predictions on what I think is going to top the top 5 this weekend. So at number 1, I think A Quiet Place is going to do it. With the buzz that it's been getting, you've seen trailers of it all over the place. I've seen it on social media, people talking about it, sharing it and stuff. I think that's going to hit number 1, no questions about it. And then with it being good, like the reviews I've seen on it have basically overall said the movie is good. And so it's at a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I mean, how could it not be number 1? Number 2, I think Ready Player One is going to stay there. It's at 41 million. How much I say? It was like 41 million. So I don't think it's going to go down too far. I think it's going to stay at number 2. Blockers, I don't know. That could switch with Ready Player One, but I think Blockers is going to come in at number 3. I think it's going to maybe be a little bit under it, but I think Blockers is going to be there. I haven't heard too much about it. So it may do good, it may not, but I think it's going to be below it. Then after that, you're going to have Tyler Perry's Acrimony. I think that's going to stay up in the top 5, coming in at number 4. I think that movie was good enough to where it's going to be there, but I think blockers have a chance of like jumping over it for the number 3 spot. And I think what's going to round it off is going to be Black Panther. I think Black Panther is going to stay in there for another week before Rampage comes in and just knocks it completely off. Unless we have an influx of people that's wanting to see Black Panther, before it eventually goes out, which it probably still have a little bit of runtime, at least into Avengers Infinity War in the theaters. But yeah, that's going to be my pick. I think number 1 is going to be A Quiet Place. Number 2 is going to be Ready Player One. Number 3 is going to be Blockers. Number 4 is going to be Tyler Perry's Acrimony. And number 5 is going to be Black Panther. And so those are my predictions for this coming weekend. And that wraps up this episode of the Take One Podcast, episode 61. And I thank you guys for joining me. And if you like, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this and all that stuff. Everything that you need to know how to catch me on social media is down there in the description, as well as links to my other videos, movie reviews, other episodes of the podcast, and all that good stuff. And thank you for joining me, and hope to see you next time. Peace.